And here we are pulling up at our first stop of the day. It's an awesome customer. Again, this is what I love about my job, is just the opportunity to meet some really great people, kill some bugs, and build some relationships. I knew nothing about pest control. There's a joke in the industry where it's like nobody grows up trying to get in the industry. It just kind of happens, and that's exactly what happened with me. Like, I was serving tables. Next thing you know, I'm speaking with the owner of a local pest control company. You could make some money, so I was like, sure, why not?
This is Michael with Valley Pest Control here in Knoxville, Tennessee. We're gonna do a day in the life of a bug guy. What does he do all day long? Think of it like job shadowing your friends. You know, some of your best friends. What do they do for work all day? So we're gonna figure out what Michael does.
Yep. Come on, let's do it.
Let's kill some bugs. And now begins our ride along.
We are hitting the roads.
We're gonna go zap some bugs.
We're gonna zap all the bugs today.
So tell me, we got ants, roaches,
Yep.
silverfish.
Yeah, and that's a pretty popular one, especially around here. We got lots of silverfish. So.
Well, not so popular. People want to get rid of them, right?
Well, that's where I come into play. So popular for me. It's a good thing. Yeah, there's lots of bugs. We are out here just doing our job today. We've got our schedule. So we've got, for today, we're going to be doing some general pest, which is kind of a vague term, but that's just maintenance, right? People hire us because they want that peace of mind knowing that their home's not getting infested with all these nasty little creepy crawlies. We're going to just go do some maintenance services today, which will be just keeping the bugs out, and then we're going to take care of some roaches. That's a big one. German roaches specifically are what they are called.
How'd they get over here from Germany?
I don't know. I should know the origin, but yeah, it's interesting because you got like German roaches, Oriental roaches, American roaches. So you've got all these like different names, but the Germans are the bad ones.
Well, East Tennessee is a great place to live, so maybe they're just attracted to this.
Yeah, they know.
Awesome part of the country.
Exactly.
Right?
They know what they're doing. And here we are pulling up at our first stop of the day. It's an awesome customer. Again, this is what I love about my job, is just the opportunity to meet some really great people, kill some bugs, and build some relationships. But we took care of the ants, and so at this point it's just maintaining, trying to keep them out. So we'll treat, this is the main house, and then she's got a really pretty guest house in the back, so that's what we're going to treat today.
Step one
is we're going to just clean the place up. So we got our handy dandy web pole, and then we have a great product. I love this one. It's called Web Out, and it works really good. It's just essential oils, so it's just a bunch of essential oils at a high concentrate, but what it does is it almost acts as like a repellent. So we're going to brush this stuff up on the house. Basically, we're going to knock down the spider web, and if we don't kill the actual spider while we're doing it, it's going to leave a residual to where it's pretty much going to just stop them from coming back. So
yeah, they don't like those smells.
Yeah, exactly. So just going to spray that up a little bit. There we go. And then take a little road trip around, and the home should be looking good because we're trying to minimize the amount of, like, there's a little web right there. So that was a small spider web there. The house is, you'll see on the back half, this one's near water, which does make it a lot harder to control the spiders. But again, with Web Out and the liquid and bait we're going to use, we can still do a really good job of slowing them down. So kind of making sure we don't see anything crazy as we go. On your typical day, you've got a lot of time as a technician where if you're not doing a bunch of interior services, you have a lot of opportunity to pop in a podcast, listen to some music, just really kind of enjoy the serenity and peace and quiet, however you choose to. So I know I'm a big podcast or audiobook guy, but yeah, you can kind of see and I don't know if you can smell this stuff. Again, it smells good. It smells just like essential oils.
Oh yeah, it's very strong scent.
Yeah, yep. And that obviously dissipates, but for the spider activity, it helps really well to slow them down. So, all right, that looks great there. And then we're gonna just loop around. A lot of just maintenance. So that's a lot of what we're gonna be doing, is just the maintenance side of the business, is just keeping the spiders out, keeping the ants out, keeping the roaches out. Peace of mind is how I like to describe it. That's really our goal for the customer, is giving them peace of mind, knowing that with our service, we are slowing down all these little critters from getting in the home. So that's kind of our purpose. We're the silent heroes. We got a little water down the hill, and so again, this is a really beautiful property, but because of that it's going to attract an extra amount of critters, the spiders and the roaches and things, especially the spiders. They just love anything near water, so you'll get a lot of that going on.
You told me about the solitude that you like, being able to pop in a podcast or an audiobook.
Yeah.
What's something else you love about your work?
God knew that I would go crazy just sitting at a desk all day. The ability to come out here, get my body moving, sweat a little bit when the sun comes out, but having that opportunity to, actively perform a job and be able to kind of move around is a really fun thing, I'd say. So that's
you're doing physical work after going to the gym in the morning too.
Yeah, right when I go. I think that's part of the issue when I don't show up to the gym. It's because I've already feel gassed, but it's not horrible physical work. So there's definitely a lot. We had a buddy who I used to work with who came from the roofing industry, and he always gave us a hard time because he's like, oh man, this is the easiest physical labor job I've ever done. So, and then this was actually where those ants were coming in. I was just seeing how it looks. So what happens sometimes is, like we put up a really good barrier and apply our baits out in the yard, but sometimes this can act like a bridge where if we treated the base of this foundation, that's great, but if they're just accessing the property from these leaves, it almost like kind of bypasses what we did, if that makes sense. So that can be something tricky where we try to just encourage customers to like make sure that tree limbs aren't touching the house or things like this. Like that one looks good, that one's not touching the house, but this maybe I think is a hydrangea is kind of getting all up in the house, and so that's just accelerating the ease for like spiders and ants. And that's kind of what happened is we had some ants sneak past my barrier and then just get up on this area, and then from there, again, they're tiny, so it doesn't take but a little crack and crevice for them to make their way into the house. So we stopped that. It looks good. I don't see any evidence. Average customer doesn't have a guest house because this guest house is about the size of my actual house, but this property is, again, super unique, and they've got this really neat guest house as well. And so we're going to just continue our web cleaning. We're kind of early in the season, but paper wasps are right now in the process of like building their nest, laying their larvae in there, and then they will build all year and have a nice little sizable nest.
Looks like they are beekeepers.
Yeah, yes, they are. And so that's a great observation. So when we spray down here, I'm gonna just stay far away from this whole area. Again, I'd rather basically miss something and potentially have to come back for like an issue like ants or something than to accidentally treat something that could cause issues, because we love honeybees. I'd love to own honeybees if I had the property for it. So we don't want to do anything that would harm any of this stuff. Those are acrobat ants. Those are actually one of my favorite ants. Sound like a bug nerd, but those are one of my favorite ants because they're called acrobat ants. It's gonna be hard to tell on camera, but their butt, it's in the shape of a little heart, and then when they get defensive, their little back end goes up in the air. So it like sticks up, and then also they're notorious, like most ants are gonna be building nests like in the ground, but these guys love to go up. So I can't say that's exactly why, but I think a big part of why they're called acrobat ants is because you'll get them like on a second story balcony. We could be out there doing all of our things, doing all the stuff, just treating really thoroughly, but if they're just sneaking on a power line and accessing the home that way, decay on this property, which just happens, that's what happens when you build a house in nature. You're gonna get that moisture, but they love that, the acrobat ants do. They'll find basically an area that has had some excessive moisture to where it's kind of compromised, and then they'll use that as a nesting space. So for this property, we'll do two things. We'll do a really thorough Niban granule, bait granule. So we'll use that product around, and so that should, wherever they're at, they're gonna forage for that, and that should wipe them out. And then also I'll add a liquid application around the house. This is what we're talking about, Niban. It's great. It's got a form of boric acid. Niban, Nisus, the company who makes it, they're really big on boric acid. It's in a lot of products because it's awesome. You know, it can do a lot of things, whether it's pest control related, wood preservation related. So it just has a lot of abilities and different things that it can do. So it's a great product. I like this one a lot. And they even gave us these custom jugs. This is something new. I didn't even realize they did that until everybody on Facebook was talking about it, where all these bug guys had their custom jugs, and I was like, what the heck, I need one of those. So I connected with a couple guys, and yeah, they've been awesome. So they've given us a whole stock. So basically we're gonna just do a nice little, just gonna keep it casual and run around and do this. Very simple, but also effective, where this granule bait is going to just kind of fall where it may. Just the natural foraging process is going to help to really cut out a whole slew of insects. That's why a lot of bug guys love this product, is it's not just for like one specific insect. Again, it doesn't discriminate. So many varieties. So you've got the acrobat ants we looked at, you've got sugar ants, you've got carpenter ants. So it works really great for most of them. In this industry, obviously there's like hundreds of thousands of insects. You really only need a little bait and it's gonna do a lot of damage on the bugs. So exactly what we want. So that's gonna be our Niban, and then basically I'll just finish it off with a liquid as well. Basically what we do with the liquid is you measure it out. You have your nice little measuring table there. Going for 1.5 ounces into this guy. Here's a couple little plants. I know that's tomatoes, and then it says something on there, cucumber. Obviously, who knows if they plan on eating those or not, but we're gonna just stay far away from them with our sprays. Again, kind of like what we talked about with the honeybee situation. Like, I'd much rather be having to come back out to fix maybe like a bug issue than spraying people's edible plants. So,
But as far as landscaping goes, these products are fine for that.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. As far as landscaping, we have no issue there. So otherwise we'd be in big trouble if it was going to kill, you know, plants and such. But yeah, no issues there. So it's not going to kill plants. It's really just more of a safety thing for, basically I'm just going to go up here, hit all this, mainly just a safety thing. But yeah, here again, we're just applying a nice liquid. You can kind of go around the windowsills, slow down the spider webs that way. The goal ultimately is to minimize the activity getting in the home. So, and then I'm gonna go back here because this was our hot spot the other day. Pull these branches back and really spray. Just make sure we're in good shape from where the ants had been getting in. This is another area where we can hit these rocks. You'll get black widows that are wanting to hide in these. So soaking those down is always a great thing to do. That's really all it is when it comes to like teaching a technician, is just really teaching them why you're doing it, and then obviously showing them how. So again, everything that I'm doing, there's a reason for it, and just trying to do it in a smart, responsible way that's, again, going to be effective for the insects, slowing them down, but then also not just taking the strategy of just applying an excessive amount of pesticides to homes. So trying to find that balance. We're ready now.
Stop number 2.
Stop number 2, let's see. Call this the Lamborghini of pest control. B&G, it's great, lasts forever, works really good, kills lots of bugs. This church, we do their normal service, but they've had a little bit of a spider issue, so we're gonna run up there and see what we can do about it. So,
Tell me, what makes your work meaningful? Why do you like what you do?
I will say that at one point I actually really struggled, like back when I was a technician and just doing my day-to-day job. I struggled a lot with my purpose. So there was a time where I really struggled of, like, you know, coming to work today and just feeling almost like a worthlessness of like, man, what I'm doing is so irrelevant, and there's so many like cooler jobs out there that have more like impact and meaning. Funny enough, everyone just calls you the bug guy, because that's what we are. We're just the bug guy. But I struggled with that for a long time, where I really didn't like it. Kind of bothered me, somebody would call me the bug guy, because it's like, if you're an engineer, it's kind of a cool job title, it's like, oh, engineer, nice, like whatever, doctor, nurse. So all these things in my mind, I'm like, that would be a cool job title, but everyone just calls me the bug guy. Sure, you can call us just the bug guy, and that's fine. But the reality is, like, a ton of what we do has a huge impact on people's quality of life. I have had so many experiences where I go into a customer's home and I diagnose them with bed bugs, and I just had these customers just break down in tears because they don't want to have bed bugs. They didn't realize they had bed bugs. In their mind, like, this is horrible. They're gonna have to like move out of their house, like just this huge thing. And so basically I have to be that that voice of reason, and really just coming alongside them and help them understand, like, hey, we got this. Like, we're gonna take care of this for you. Your life's gonna be back to normal, and we're gonna be able to fix that issue. So again, one specific customer, she just broke down in tears because her baby in the crib having red bumps on her, they didn't know what it was, come to find out that there were bed bugs in the crib, and obviously as a father, like, it breaks my heart to think that they were dealing with that. And so to be able to come in there and play a part in fixing that is just, I've realized, like, man, we're not just like these guys out here just wasting our lives away, just like spraying bugs because people, just for the heck of it, but we are literally doing it for the purpose of just a better life for people, whether it's getting rid of bed bugs, getting rid of German roaches, as you'll see when we go and do that one. It's like a hospital couldn't run without the bug guy, so that's kind of what I realized, is like, a restaurant can't run without the bug guy. If we're not doing what we need to do, then that business is going to shut down.
Communities as a whole, it's just one big team.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you mentioned the trash guy, the bug guy, carpenters, electricians, plumbers, like you talked about earlier. It's all one part of one big thing making it work.
Yeah, and that's exactly, we're just another piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
The nurses, and that's the other thing. It's like, there's very rarely a job that's like actually glamorous, because it's like engineers, I'm sure they got some days where their life is just boring. They're just sitting there typing away. Or nurses have an awesome job, but it's not all fun stuff. They're wiping butts and taking care of newborn babies screaming and doing all these things that are so critical to our society, but it's not always like a glamorous thing. So again, I just realized that just because I don't wear a suit every day and I get a little sweaty doesn't mean what I do doesn't have a purpose and impact. It's a little wet outside, but what's beautiful about Nyban is you are able to use it even when it's a little wet out. With a lot of products, you have a lot more restrictions. So again, just a really great product for all weather. So we're gonna hit some Nyban here today, make sure the webs are looking good, and keep this house bug free. So let's pop this guy open and make our rounds.
What are some of the most memorable days you've had at work? Like a crazy day, a crazy bug infestation, something like that?
There was one house I went to for some roaches, and a sweet old lady, but she kind of downplayed it. She's like, yeah, we got a couple bugs, and you go in there and it's just infested, just like really, really bad. So I'm playing it cool. I'm just trying to, act relatively normal, given the fact that there's roaches trying to crawl up my boots, So I'm just trying to act like this is not that big of a deal, but also make them aware of, like, hey, we need to nuke this place. So I'm there treating, I do my thing, and the sweet lady, she's on her recliner, and again, these roaches were all over the place. So they're just everywhere. And I kid you not, we're sitting there, she's in her recliner, I'm sitting there, we're talking, and as we're talking, a roach just walks up the side of her chair and is just sitting, her arm's sitting there on the armrest, and it's just sitting there, and it's like I'm having a conversation with the little roach and the lady, and I just didn't have the heart to say anything about it because, again, I didn't want to overreact, and so I just played it cool while this roach just hung out with us, and I was like, I need to kill that thing, but I also don't want to overreact, and so it was just like this is just my life where I'm just staring at roaches sitting on people's chairs while they're sitting in the chair, and I've got to just act like this is my normal everyday life. When most people would, as soon as they see that roach, just freak out. So, but again, for that customer, her reality was like this was just like just normal life, so she's just used to it. And so overreacting doesn't help anybody. I don't know how to handle this, but this poor customer.
Sounds like you handled it pretty well.
I mean, I guess I've learned to yeah, definitely just have to just put on a smile and pretend like, hey, it's all good. That roach is gonna just hang out with us today, and I'll kill it later, you know. I'll take care of it after this conversation, because she wasn't worried about it. I don't think she noticed it, but the point is, like, if she noticed it, it would have been like, oh yeah, there's one of them. Like, it wouldn't have been a big deal for her. But typically, normally, when you go to a customer's house, they see one roach, not to mention hundreds, and it's going to be like a huge deal. Obviously, I've learned to just kind of, you definitely can't overreact, you know, and be like, oh my gosh, you're infested. It's like, you have to really be that voice of reason and be like, no worries, we're here now, and we're going to take care of your bugs.
So we're going to another property now. What is happening at this house? What are they dealing with?
Yeah, so this is going to be a German roach infestation. Once they get in and infest, it's a nightmare. They spread rapidly, reproduce, and it's a lot trickier to get rid of them since they spread so quickly. And so you'll have times when you'll just get hundreds of them reproducing and continuing their life cycle. And so you have to just be a lot more aggressive with them than you would with like a wood roach or an oriental roach. So we're after German roaches today. We've got a newer product, Dual Strike. Really excited to give this some more use. I've not used a ton of it, but just based on the ingredients, I know that it's going to be a great product for what we need. So with German roaches, what you're looking for is a quick knockdown, something that's going to get in there, and as they feed on it, it's going to kill them really rapidly. So this is going to do a really great job of that. And the active ingredient is boric acid and fipronil, two really great products. And what I'm also excited about is borates aren't known to have any insect resistance, which basically means sometimes insects, as you treat over and over, like with a roach population, eventually they'll build up a resistance to where they become like immune to it. But with borates, which is in this product, there's no known insects that can build up that resistance. So what that means is this should continue to kill just time after time until you just get rid of the whole population. But basically what we're gonna do is just the hot spots. So the kitchen is a hot spot because they love anything like with an electrical current running through it. So like your microwave, your refrigerator, it has all that heat. And so those are all hot spots. So as you'll see, they'll congregate in those areas and build a nest and repopulate and all that. So yeah, this is one of their hot spots here where they love the electrical currents coming from the refrigerator motor.
Why do they like that?
The heat. The heat source is their favorite thing. So that's where they choose to repopulate and have lots of babies. So that's their hot spot. So you can see mostly dead. So again, Andrew got put a big dent in them last month. So I see a lot of dead bodies, which is great. And I just see a couple moving around. There's a couple. There's one. Again, that's great though, considering that you can see all the casualties. So we're looking pretty good there.
How does this work applying the Dual Strike?
Yeah, just very small amounts, and then just placed at strategic intervals where, you know, not too close together, but not too far away, to where they just have a buffet at all times. So we're gonna just kind of get this up in these cracks and crevices. Yeah, they'll get all up in these corners. You can see their feces, where they've been. These are just glue boards.
Glue boards for catching bugs that get stuck.
Yep.
I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, pretty simple. Not much science behind these guys. It's just a simple sticky board. So what it does is shows me the activity, if there is any. So that's what's nice about it, is it will just, if there's like a hot spot where there's a bunch of them hanging out, this will tell me that, because it's going to track them down. A lot of why I love what I do is
that there's just so many different facets of it, you know? So since I am so ADD, I like that I have the chance to be doing 100 different things. It's also stressful, but it's fun at the same time.
Day in the life, Michael the bug guy, Valley Pest Control. Check out what he does if you live in the area. Check out some of the nicest products if you work in the industry. My name's Logan. Catch you in the next one.